Teetee, and you're watching Tawanda's Culinary and Crafting Creations, where I give you culinary tips and crafting ideas. Today, we're going to make some cauli shrimp fried rice. If that is something that you would think you would enjoy, then stay tuned, subscribe, follow me. All right, y'all. I am having a wonderful day. I decided to do this video today because I'm going to make some cauli shrimp fried rice. Um, it's a little healthier than the regular rice. Well, a lot healthier than the regular shrimp fried rice because we're going to use cauliflower rice, which, is, has a small portion of the calories. A whole bag of cauliflower rice has 90 calories, 90. And I'm going to use about 3 bags. And, one bag is like 3 servings. So, you can't beat it. I'm also going to use some shrimp. I have some pre-cooked shrimp that I'm going to use. I would suggest that you buy you some shrimp, some raw shrimp, and clean them, devein them, and do it that way. But I'm going to use what I have. This was left over from family being here on spring break. It was in the freezer, so I'm going to use it. Also, I'm going to use about 3 eggs. I'm using 3 bags of cauliflower rice, as I said. I'm using a whole onion, chopped up roughly, not really diced, but a little bigger than a dice, because I like to taste the onion in the fried rice. I'm going to use some celery, and I was looking for some other vegetables. Traditionally, when you order out for fried rice, they have peas and carrots in there. But since I'm low carb, I kind of stay away from peas and carrots for the most part because they have more carbs than other vegetables. So I had some leftover kale and cabbage in the refrigerator, and I'm just gonna cut that up, chop it up real good, and I'm gonna throw that in there. Okay, so let's get started. First, we're going to get some of this stuff out of the way so I have a little bit more room on this counter, and then I'm gonna get my onions and my celery. Yep. So how y'all been today? I don't normally record today. Today is Monday. Normally I record on the weekends, but like I said, I decided just to go ahead and do this today. And it just hit me. I was like, hey, let me do that. So that's what I'm doing. Oh, she chopped up the celery. Okay. My daughter chopped up the celery for me. That's so sweet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna get my eggs out of here. Like I said, I'm doing 3 eggs. And you're gonna need some vegetable oil. I wouldn't suggest doing olive oil for this. You might be able to do some coconut oil, maybe. But the reason being because you do this on a higher heat, and your olive oil and butter, it don't do well on high heat. So we're gonna do something that works a little better. As I was stating, you can use whatever vegetable you have on hand. Traditionally, this is done with some good old peas and carrots. You can put those in there, definitely. If you're not low carb, definitely. Or if you're low carb and you're doing like a dirty low carb or something like that, a dirty keto rather, do you. But me, we're not going to do those today. We're going to keep it a little bit more low calorie count and use cabbage and kale. And, if you have it on hand, you can definitely cut it up raw and use. But as I stated, I'm using some leftover stuff that I had on hand before. That way I won't have to throw it away. All right. And I pretty much like a lot of veggies in my fried rice. So, yeah. So that was a half of onion. I already chopped up a portion of an onion, and that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna put our heat on, like I said, a higher heat. And we're gonna put a little vegetable oil. I'm gonna use a little bit of MCT oil in mine too, just because. And MCT oil is basically just coconut oil, for lack of, better explanation. But it's supposed to help, it's supposed to be healthy for you. So I have my oil in my pan. I'm going to wait for that to heat up. While I'm waiting on that, I'm going to get another bowl. And I'm going to put my shrimp in here. Like I said, I had a whole bag of shrimp. And I did some of this for my parents earlier today. I did theirs with regular white rice. And that's why this is open. So I'm just going to take this and put it in my bowl here. It's frozen still. And I'm going to throw this in the microwave to get it thawed out. I'm putting it in there for about 3 minutes. I've done this earlier today, and I know it's going to take me longer than 2 minutes to get it unthawed and handled. Now, the issue I have with this shrimp is that it is fully cooked and it has the shell on it, which is crazy, okay? But I'm gonna work with it because that's what I got. I'm gonna work with it. So we're just waiting on this to heat up. And waiting on my shrimp. I'm gonna show you some of the seasonings I'm gonna be using. On the, I'm not gonna really put a whole lot on the onions while it's cooking, and the celery, but I am gonna season everything with this roasted garlic and red pepper spice blend. Now, since I have my glasses in here, I can see what's in this blend for you, because I use it a lot. It's got garlic, it's got black pepper, a little bit of sugar, which I don't like, red bell pepper, onion, coriander, sage, thyme, and marjoram. So that is wonderful. It says it contains, okay, it doesn't have any salt in it, so that's wonderful. And the serving size is 1/4 of a teaspoon, so we're definitely going to be using more than that. I'm going to use about a teaspoon of this. I am going to put some herbs de Provence. I usually use Italian seasoning because I ran out of this, but I found this at Ross, and so I bought it. I'm going to use a little bit of ginger. Yep. I do have fresh ginger, but I'm just going to use this. It'll be easier. I won't have to grate the ginger and all of that stuff. And I'm going to put a little black pepper in there. And I'm going to put a little of the Zatarain's Creole seasoning. Now, Zatarain's, I believe this has salt. Yep. So I'm not going to use salt. We're going to do the Zatarain's. I'm trying to control my sodium, guys. So we're not going to use any salt in this. All right, so my pan is heated. I'm going to start putting my vegetables in there. Yeah, see all my dishes over there in the corner? They are clean. That's why they dry, y'all. I just washed dishes before I started doing this. It was running a little late, so I was like, let me go ahead and get in here and do this so I can get it out the way. So please disregard my clean dishes over in the corner drying. I'm gonna leave you again. Disregard that. Wash my hands right quick. Okay, I'm gonna dry those off. All right, so we have our vegetables going really good. I'm gonna get, I think I'm gonna use a wooden spatula and give these a good toss. Now normally you would put your shrimp right in here with your veggies, but because my shrimp is frozen, I'm gonna put it in another pan to saute those, because I don't want my my veggies to be watery, because that's what happens a lot of times when you use frozen stuff. Your stuff becomes kind of watery, and I don't like that. So we're gonna get those cooked up really good, and I'm gonna take them off the fire, because I don't want them to cook down too low. All right, so let's see. Yes, so the shrimp. See all that water? Yeah. All right, I told you that the shrimp, let me back a little bit, has it was frozen, and it had the shell on them, y'all. Look at them, the whole shell, child. So now, because it was frozen beforehand, I'm gonna have to struggle and take the shells off. I need something to put this in, because girl, it can get a mess over here. Okay, here we go. All right. And that's why I think, you know, you should just use fresh shrimp if you can get them, because it'll be easier for you to go ahead and devein and all that. These have been cut down the middle, which is good. That's good. You can see there's a cut, and so the vein has been taken out of these, but the shell is still on here. So all I'm doing is I'm just pulling the shell off. And once I pull the shell off, I discard the shell and I put the shrimp over here. Okay, I'm going to take this on off the heat, and then I'm going to go ahead and take the shells off of this off camera, because it's going to take me a minute to do that, y'all. And then we'll be back. All right, I am back. I have peeled all of my shrimp, and I got my vegetables starting to heat back up over on the fire. Everything's pretty much on high heat, okay? Because with my shrimp fried rice, I cook it like I'm using a wok, even though I'm not going to be using a wok. So everything's pretty much on high heat, okay? So I got my shrimp going. Now for the shrimp, I am going to use some butter. I'm going to toss them in some butter and a tad bit of olive oil. And the reason that I'm doing that is because the shrimp is already cooked. All we're doing is tossing it, warming it up, tossing in some seasonings, and that's it. We're not cooking the shrimp. Now, if you are using raw shrimp, you're gonna need to cook those shrimp. And you could cook them right in the pan with the vegetables. You know what? It only takes a few minutes to cook shrimp. When they turn pink, slightly pink, they're good to go. You don't want to overcook them, because they can have a rubbery texture if you overcook them. Okay? All right. Everything's smelling good already, y'all. Yeah, so I'm gonna get this butter together. I just threw my whole paper in there. All right, get that butter off. We're going to get that together. Now on my shrimp, I am going to put some herbs de Provence on those. I'm going to put some of these herbs de Provence on those and a little pepper. And that's going to be it for the shrimp. I'm cooking them in a separate pan because sometimes when you do frozen shrimp, you get water. Okay? And I don't want my veggies watery. I put probably about a teaspoon of herbs de Provence. And I'm just going to sprinkle some pepper. And if you want to, you can put some pepper on your vegetables too. But I'm going to use a little bit of Creole seasoning, so that's going to have a little heat to it. So, you know, we're not going to add any pepper into that. When I be sprinkling, child, I be sprinkling everywhere. It gets all over my stove. Okay? Alright, so while we're waiting on that shrimp, I'm going to do a rough chop to these veggies. Like I said, I had some leftover. I think I'm going to add some more. I had some leftover broccoli and kale. Because that's one of the things I cook pretty much every week. To have a nice vegetable to eat with anything. And this works wonderful. I think I did a video on how I cook it too. So if you want to know how I cook it, go back and watch one of my videos. I think it's just says cabbage and kale. It wasn't too long ago. And I'm just going to take it on my chopping board and just do a little rough chop. That's it. That's all we're doing. We're going to throw this in here with the with my onions. The shrimp is going with here. Get all the shrimp tossed into the butter. And then we're going to put it to the side. I don't want to cook it too much. We're going to get everything coated with some seasonings here. Hopefully you can see a little better. Yeah. So you see how your cabbage and kale is in there? I'm going to chop up a little bit more. Just do the rest that's in this bowl. Get that out the way. And just do a rough chop. Rough chop. It's already cooked. So all we're doing is, why I put that bowl up there? I'm gonna need it. All we're doing is getting it prepared. Getting it heated up. And you don't have to cook anything, we're just really heating it up. Okay? I'm gonna rinse out this bowl that I had my kale and cabbage in. And let me take this off the fire. Like I said, we don't want that to cook too long. It's already done. All right, so now I'm going to crack my 3 eggs. When you drop some shell into your egg, just use the shell from the egg to get it out. It's attracted to it. That has never failed me yet. Okay? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take a fork, scramble this up. Alright, now we're going to take a little bit of more oil. We're going to make a well in the middle of our veggies. Just a little hole like that right there. I'm just going to put just a tad bit more oil in the center. Just a little bit, okay? You don't have to pour a whole lot. We're going to use that to cook the egg so it don't stick a whole lot. Scramble that up like a little soft scramble. We're going to mix the rest of the vegetables in there with it. That's what you're going to do. Now, see how there's water in this pan? There is water in this pan. So, we are going to use those tongs right here and take the shrimp out. Make sure we don't get the water. And I just kind of hold it to on a tilt so the water is not on it, and I can just pick it up with minimal water. Shake it a little bit and then put it in your pan. Shake it a little bit, put it in your pan. It's good to go. Alright. Now I told you I get my cauliflower rice from Costco. And these are the kind you don't have to refrigerate. It comes in a box like this. And I get it from Costco. About 6 of them come in a box. So we're going to use 3. Well, we'll see. We might use 4. But I know for sure we're using 3. We're just going to throw them in there on top of everything. This cauliflower doesn't really have a lot of water in it, so that's one good point of it. And you want to try to be quick. You know, if you're not a quick cooker, I think I'm gonna put one more in there. You can, you can just put this in a bowl beforehand. But look, I'm not messing up no more dishes. I'm just gonna dump it all in here. Okay? And then you just throw this in the garbage. Throw it in the garbage. Let me get these shells. Throw it in too. Alright. So now, before we mix everything, we're gonna season it. I'm gonna put some of my roasted garlic and bell pepper flakes in here. Liberally, a little bit of herbs de Provence, some ginger powder, and I did probably about a 1/4 of a teaspoon of ginger. I did about a teaspoon of the roasted bell pepper, about a 1/2 teaspoon of the herbs de Provence, and we're going to sprinkle some Creole. You sprinkle to your heart's content. Now, understand, this has salt in it. Okay, and I'm going to put about a 1.5 tablespoons of soy. So now we're just going to mix everything together. I'm dropping everything. Smells wonderful. I'm gonna mix everything together till your rice gets that little brown color. The that's famous for traditional fried rice. I know nowadays we get that yellow rice, child. I can't stand it. Like, why are we getting yellow rice? I just want some rice. I want some plain old shrimp fried rice. They have that yellow rice. I don't too much bother with it. I don't go now anyway because I'm trying to eat healthy. That's stuff full of sodium. Now the soy sauce I use is regular soy sauce. You can use some amino acids. I've done that before too. Actually, I have some. Or did I run out? I might have ran out. But anyway, but you want to mix it until everything's well combined, just like this. And then what you want to do is take it off the heat. Because it's cooked. It's done. That cauliflower rice, I mean, all it needs to do is heat up a little bit. And it's good and done. So we're going to cut that off. And I'm going to clean up right quick, y'all. Everything hot, Chad. All right, so that looks wonderful. I'm gonna plate some up here. We're gonna give it a taste. So I can see how it tastes. This would be my first time tasting this. It's my first time making it, y'all. But with the cauliflower anyway. So I'll be right back. I'm going to plate it up and then we'll come back and have a taste test. Alright guys, I am back. I'm going to plate up some of this cauliflower rice. And we're going to see how it tastes. Let me see if I can get a spoon. Alright, so let's plate it up. Nothing fancy. I'm just putting some on a plate. Alright. Look at that. It's steaming, child. So let me give me a sec. Hey everybody. I thought I'd let you see me today. We're gonna taste some of this here. I'm gonna let you see it. Let me move the camera down just a tad. All right, so this is it. And we're gonna have a taste. This is moment of truth. All right, so here we go. Blowing it because it's hot.